WWE has gone through many different eras in its history. You have the Golden Age era, you have the New Generation era, the Attitude era, Ruthless Aggression, PG, Reality, and the New Era. What if I told you that we were potentially entering a new era in WWE's history? If you missed this last episode of Friday Night SmackDown, then you would have missed the fact that they're encouraging fans to bring signs again. Now, the average person would look at this and go, oh, big deal. They're encouraging people to bring signs. That's a good thing. But if you follow WWE for a certain amount of time now, you would know that WWE often takes signs away from the fans who bring the signs to the events. And that leads me to wonder, why now? Why now do they want people to start bringing signs again? Now, this is my theory. This is what I think is going on. So keep that in mind as I go along with this. But it feels like for the better part of a year and a half or so that we have been getting into a new era. We've been entering a new era. It really started when Vince McMahon stepped down and Triple H came in as the head of creative. That felt like the initial beginning almost. And we go further along and we look at the TKO purchase and the Netflix deal, and all of these things just seem like they're all adding into one, which I think is gonna be a new era. Whatever the era is, I think they already have their star too. Just like Hulk Hogan was in the Golden Age era. Just like Stone Cold was in the Attitude Era, John Cena in the Ruthless Aggression Era. I think it's all adding up for Cody Rhodes to be the new face of this new era. So I think it's entirely possible that by time WrestleMania, we may eventually be entering a new era officially, even though the wrestling fans have kind of been saying this is a new era for a long time now, because the product is so good, because we have all these stars coming into WWE. Jade Cargill from AEW, CM Punk came back to the business, hell froze over, and I think CM Punk coming back to WWE, I think that just shows that it's time for a new era. That we're in a new era, whether WWE admits it officially or not, but I think we could be in a new one by WrestleMania. Providing Cody wins and finishes his story, and that sends us off into what could be a new era of WWE. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, just because they're bringing back signs doesn't necessarily mean we're going into a new era. And to that I would say, you're right. The signs could have nothing to do with it. They could simply just be trying to recreate some scenes from the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era with all the signs. And I think you're starting to see in the WWE's production that things are a little bit different. They're trying some new things, trying different shots, showing Cody Rhodes and his goofy smile walking into Monday Night Raw, showing The Rock when he gets to SmackDown, or Roman Reigns when he gets to SmackDown. Another hot topic as of late has been The Rock's social media promos, which we already have a video up on the page, but I think that The Rock's social media promos could be used in this new era of WWE, giving their talent a bigger platform to work with and getting them more exposure in the meantime. So I think it's entirely possible that we see these social media promos become a more regular thing. Obviously, not with the level of profanity that The Rock has been using, but with a more WWE flair to them. I think it adds a little bit of realism into the characters in WWE. It obviously isn't going to work with everybody. Like, you're not going to have Ivar cut a social media promo in his Viking gear. Like, no, you're not going to do that. But not only could we be seeing more of these social media promos become a more regular thing in the WWE in the future, but we also have to look at who's in the WWE right now. You have two of the biggest names on the internet in Pat McAfee and Logan Paul. And look at how many times a WWE superstar has been on the Impulsive podcast or has been on the Pat McAfee show. They just announced that Triple H is going to be on the Pat McAfee show around the time of WrestleMania. You look at the Impulsive podcast, and Triple H has been on there, Randy Orton's been on there, John Cena's been on there. And then you pair in what they're doing with Bianca Belair and Montez Ford and getting them a new show on Hulu. And the level of branding that they did was really made it seem like they were trying to make that a big show. And let's look how easy it is to watch wrestling or to see something about wrestling now with everything that's going on. AEW, WWE, stuff going on in the indies. Like, you see Barstool Sports tweeting something, related to pro wrestling, whether that's a guy jumping through 16 light bulbs at a indie show in the middle of nowhere. But still, we're seeing a boom in pro wrestling again. And I think this is WWE's way of kind of capitalizing on this, realizing what they have, and turning it into something bigger and making the product bigger in the process. That's why you're seeing a lot of talent on the Impulsive podcast and on the Pat McAfee show and on ESPN now. And we're seeing more and more of this. And if we look and see at how deep this roster is of WWE, not just the men's side, but the women's division too, like, it's so incredibly deep, and you have so many people who are putting on great matches. It just screams to me. I think the WWE is going to capitalize on all of these things and turn the WWE into something bigger than what it already is. And I think it all starts with this new era that's coming in. All of that, I think, is just adding into one big thing. And I think that new thing is this new era that I think we're going into, officially. Not just the internet wrestling community saying we're in a new era, saying that this is the greatest era in pro wrestling, which I think they're right. Looking at all the different availabilities that these athletes have to go to now, whether it's they go on the indies or AEW, WWE, whatever it may be, the WWE and pro wrestling as a whole right now is as big as it's ever been, and as big as I think it is ever gonna be for quite some time. Because obviously, they're never going to be able to sustain the momentum that they have. I'll be really impressed and really happy if they do. I think this is WWE's way of saying, we've got something special here. We've got something here that could make us bigger than ever. And we're going to do everything that we can to make it bigger than ever. So I think that's why you're seeing all of these social media promos and everything that's changing in the WWE. I think it's all leading to this new era of pro wrestling, of the WWE. Again, we have no idea what it's going to be called. I can't even say that it's going to happen. But again, this is my theory. This is what I think is going to happen. If you don't agree with me, I want to hear so in the comments. Let me know. But after all of that, that is going to be it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you leave a thumbs up on the video because it's really going to help a lot. As always, links are in the description for our other social media pages that we are on. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.